Righto, we're just driving out to Nalangi Bridges and a few of the culverts along the way. Going to test out some of the lures that we got. Suede's got a one of those 360 cameras, so we're going to try and get some footage of the lures swimming in the water, give you an idea what it looks like and why the barra love them so much. So hopefully that turns out pretty well. Hopefully we can catch a couple of barra as well. There's been a few people catching them, so we'll go and have a bit of a flick and see what happens. See you soon. Suede's just getting his camera ready. He's never used his waterproof cover for the 360 yet, so he's having a few dramas by the sounds of it. Far out, there's some lures in the tree. Gold bomber there. There's a little rubber lure up in there. Yeah, so a lot of these places late in the dry season, you come back, obviously there's no water, or mid dry season even, there's no water, so you can just walk around and find all the lures that people have lost. Good for the environment, good for the tackle box. Just going to do a little test with the 360 camera and the Irukandji Sicario DTF. Show you what it looks like in the water. See what the barra is seeing.
Go again.
We'll do another one. It's like the gold black kind of colour. This is the one we've had heaps of success on, catching big barramundi, so this just gives you an idea what they're like swimming through the water. Nimbus lures, the big white one. So it's an 8-inch Nimbus from Irukandji. We're just going to chuck it into the sun out here in front of us. And Suede's got a 360 camera with a waterproof case on it, so we're just going to try and show you what it looks like for the barramundi when these lures are swimming under the water. I'll just do a slow wind this first one, just to give you a bit of an idea of the wobble as well as the tail. So it's not just the tail moving, it's the whole body. Might just do one more real quick just to show you that again. So you can see the whole body, side to side, and the tail, nice big wobble. And that's just a slow wind. But also if you throw a jig into the mix, you get a much more erratic kind of action and a fairly slow sink. It doesn't sink overly quick. So you can really let them big barra get behind it and they eat it and it's tangled. So that's brilliant. So one thing we do notice with these big Nimbus lures, they're awesome at catching big barra, but when you jig them a bit too hard, because they got them real awesome hooks on them, they tend to get tangled up just like that if you jig them too hard. So my advice would be, and a lot of you might already know this, you don't want to wind too fast when you're using a big soft plastic. It's basically just a slow roll. Not many people actually jig big plastics, it's just that real slow roll. So, but if you do like to jig, I definitely suggest, yeah, just being really gentle on those jigs, because those hooks tangle up pretty easy. You can see there, or maybe you can see on the GoPro, that small jig is plenty to make that lure dance around. So we're actually fishing in a flooded culvert here on the highway, and these are really good places to catch barra when it's flooding. You get a lot of good sized fish just sitting around all these trees under the road. But yeah, really we just wanted to kind of showcase the different actions you can put into a lure, but also just how they swim when they're just slowly rolled through the water. Alright, so I'm just going to run through now a different lure. These are the ones I was talking about in one of my other videos, the B52 bomber in a rainbow fish kind of colour, with the upgraded hooks as well. So awesome lure. Now if you're fishing active target especially, and the barra aren't chasing your rubber lures really quick, the best thing you can do is put one of these bombers or some sort of floating minnow on, because they'll float on the surface. They got a nice loud rattle when you jig them, and you can stop and let it float. So you can let that barra swim right over to it. He'll hear those jigs in the water. You pause, you watch the fish swim over towards it. As he's getting closer, just nice little jigs like that, and normally that big barra will just boof that lure every time. Oh, something was down there. You'll have a fish on that.
Really?
Yeah, there was a fish under it. I saw it flash. Whether it was a tarpon or not, I don't know, but yeah. So again, that was a slow twitching motion. This time I'll just do a nice slow roll. Sometimes these lures do work really well just slowly rolled like this. You can see that nice big wobble they have. Just one more. Look, there's plenty of different ways you can use these lures, but just one more that I like to do is get it down a few winds deep and then completely stop and just let it float slowly all the way back to the surface. As it hits the surface, leave it for a couple more seconds, do the same thing again. Couple of aggressive jigs down, let it float up, and you'll tend to find, especially around these little areas, as that lure floats back to the surface, barra will come out from the trees or under these logs that are right in front of me and smash it. So again, if the plastics aren't working too well, I suggest using something similar to that or exactly that, and I think you'll find you'll catch more fish. Alright, we're just going to try something here. I've had a couple of little barra follow the lure, so Swade's just going to put his 360 in the water, and we'll see if we can get him coming up for it. Might have to do another cast there. I'll go a bit further back and get it a bit deeper, and we'll just see if this barra's still here. He's only tiny, but he's come up a few times to hit this bomber right at the edge, and now he's not going to do it. Right, we just changed posies, changed creek. Wasn't getting much luck at that other one, so I'm just going to try here. Oh, yep, good size barra, good size barra. Come on. Oh, I don't know. I hope you can see that on the GoPro. That was a good fish. He followed it right up to the edge of the bricks and all the rocks and everything there. We'll see if he'll come up again. Oh, there, he just hit the lure. He just hit the lure. I missed him. Oh, I hope you see that on the GoPro. He's not a bad fish. He actually tried to eat it that time instead of just following it. But he swam off back into the grass there. There's some big perch and that hanging around too, so he's obviously in a spot where he's feeding. He'd be kind of mid-60s, I reckon. He's pretty good. I might have missed my chance there. He's gone for it twice. Not sure if he's going to come back or not. He only really hit the lure once. He followed it the first time. And he was, oh, there he is. He just missed it again. Up on the top just about. I was just doing what I was talking about before and jigging it and letting it float above all this grass here. Oh, I got to convince him he's there. 3 chances. Bugger.
Behind you,
Yeah, I might try it in a sec, but it's real. There's heaps of grass there. He seemed to be sitting under this grass. So preferably in a spot like this, I'd much rather use a bomber just because there's a lot of trees, a lot of grass. So at least with this, when you hit a stick, or just stop and let it float. And again, that's normally when that barra will actually follow it, when it floats up like that. Unfortunately, is gone. 3 chances I had at him. I haven't cast under the bridge yet, which is normally the go. Well, there's one of them anyway. He's not too bad. He'll be just on size maybe. Yeah. Oh, he's fighting pretty well. Oh, got some going in for a little fish. Righto, before crocodile come out. Righto, very good. Got a little bit of 360 footage there as well, so he's a nice bronze barra, this thing. Could you grab your bogas for me? Righto, nice little first fish. You'll see the GoPro footage. He's probably 57, I reckon, so he's a keeper, but he's a real dark fish too. Not that that matters. I actually like eating the fresher ones sometimes. This way I caught that barra just then. Missed a couple there. I don't know if it was the same one every time, but I'm just gonna change spots here. So when you're fishing any kind of bridge or culvert, what I've kind of found is that you can fish in all these areas where all the trees and everything are, and you'll probably catch good fish, but the best thing you can do is fish all the corners. Underneath the bridge, right in the corner of the bridge where there's a bit of a slack from the current, and you'll tend to get a couple of fish from each kind of corner. especially when they're here. But again, like, you got all these spots in between the trees, so at the moment that's what Swade's doing. He's just kind of fishing between all the trees here, whereas I'm trying to fish in these corners and see if I can find a couple in there.